Good morning, my darlings. My name is Victoria and this is Veritas Tarot. I love to do readings for love, obviously love of another, but most importantly love for oneself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And today I'm going to be doing you a 6 of Cups soulmate reading. And this is our little cup of tea and a natter with spirit. In England, there's nothing that a cup of tea and a good chat with a friend can't help. So this is that with spirit today. If the reading does resonate with you, I'd love to see whatever comments you may have in the comments box. And if it doesn't, please don't try and make it fit. I do believe that whoever's meant to hear this reading will do so in divine timing with divine guidance by spirit. But if it doesn't, please, there are so many other wonderful and fabulous readers out there for you to listen to. So we're going to look at your first card, and that is the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is saying to me that you've gone through obviously something very painful, but you've come out the other end. You see, the 9 of Wands also is, I see these 8 wands as sort of cycles in your life that have happened, where you've had to repeat those cycles in order to shift and change and evolve and grow. And we all have protection mechanisms. We all have things that we believe protect our hearts. And what happens is that we keep given the same lesson over and over and over again until we understand and grow and evolve from it. And you've stepped forward and you have that Ace of Wands and you have that clarity and you have that sort of passion and that desire now to know what you deserve, and you know what, you feel that self-love for yourself now, and you have decided that you're not going to go back and repeat those same cycles of behavior, because you have shifted and changed and evolved. And it takes great strength to do that. It takes great strength to look at yourself and look at situations around you and understand why they've happened. And Spirit is saying, well done, darling, because it's much easier to transfer the feelings you're feeling about yourself onto another and blame them, but you haven't here. You've really done your onion peeling, which can make you cry, and you've peeled off layers, but you've stepped forward now. And I think this has been a very traumatic time for you, but we have to go through that dark night of the soul to get to the light, and we're only at our most transformative when we're made to feel very uncomfortable. So well done, well done. How your soulmate's feeling about you? This is how they are in their current life, but I do believe, that's why I said this, obviously, that this is how they're also feeling about you. It's the King of Cups. And this King of Cups for me is saying they're very much sitting in their emotions, which is not something that they normally do. So whatever's happened between you, it's causing them to reflect and think about things. They're not very good about expressing their love to you, but they are looking across at the cards, you can see. So they're looking forward in terms of where maybe they've learnt from things and how they could maybe change things going forward. They do have so much love for you, the King of Cups, because as I said, it makes them feel a little bit like a fish out of water in terms of trying to express that. And you see that their toe is just touching the water. So they're kind of prodding themselves and dipping in and out of emotions when they're allowing themselves to do that. But they are being slightly overwhelmed at the moment. And it's something that Spirit is guiding them to do. It's something that's at the right time for them. Everything happens in divine timing. And at this current space of their life, your soulmate is being asked to look at their emotions, look at their feelings, because our soul, God, universe, whatever you would like to call it, him, her, always talks to us through our feelings. And so this is really lovely to see this here, that they are at this time being asked to really look at their feelings and not just continue forward with their life and pretending everything's fine. No, they're not. They're sitting in their emotions at the moment, and it's with thoughts about you. How you feel about them and where you are in relation to them. You have the 8 of Cups. So I do feel that you walked away from this situation. It might be the other way around, but this is what I'm feeling, that you walked away from this, and this was something that you were very guided to do. And thank you. Why? Spirit's just told me something. So of course, I told you about the 8 of Wands here, representing these past life cycles that you've been doing and repeating cycles in order to learn. Well, here we have the same but reflected with the Eight of Cups. So this is you having walked away from what didn't serve you anymore. You've walked away from repeated cycles, conditioned behaviours, with the understanding that actually it wasn't for your greatest good, so you needed to walk away. So I'm very proud of you then, because again, it's a very hard thing to do, especially when you love somebody and it makes you unhappy to stay and unhappy to go. But you did a very, very brave thing, and you have walked away because you've been guided by spirit, you've been guided by your intuition, you've been guided by source to walk away. And it's not the easiest of journeys, and that's reflected by the mountains. It can be quite hard, and it can be sometimes an uphill struggle, but you know it's that grounding, and it's done. You know that this is something that you've needed to do. And he, the King of Cups, is looking at the fact that you've walked away. So this is again going back to that, he's in that reflective emotional stage now, having watched you gone. And maybe you've gone through many cycles together of coming, toing and froing, etc., or just been in these cycles and patterns of behaviour with each other, and finally you just said, no, I've had enough, and this is not making me happy, and you've walked away. How he feels about you, you have the World card. So you mean so much to him. I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, the World card is, it's a beautiful card because it's the end of a cycle again. So again, this is just me going back here to the Nine of Wands. So we go through whole cycles in our lives, and it starts effectively with the Fool and it ends with the World card. And we shift into the next cycle with a higher vibration if we've learned and grown and evolved from the previous cycle. So you very much have with this World card. And this is a sort of ending and a pause in life for you to have a chance to reflect. And he can see that in you, that you've come to this stage of acceptance and completeness, and you're completely connected, as above, down below. So this is a very spiritual card as well. It's a very guided card, that you've been guided, and you're also beginning to share with others what you have learned from this relationship. And so you have completely grown and evolved, and Spirit is saying again, well done, darling, because it is not the easiest path to follow, but it is the most rewarding. And I love to see that in how he's feeling about you, because he has seen your change. And so what happens is, when we are particularly in a soulmate, we are all just energy. So if we're emitting a high vibration energy and a place of peace, then that has an impact on those around us. But it's also in the understanding with this card and where you are, that everybody's on their own journey and everybody moves at different paces. And we should never be cross and angry at somebody because they're not moving at the same pace as us, or they might not understand the way we do. Everybody only learns from their own experiences. You can't fix somebody else. You can only fix and heal yourself. But the more, if you really love somebody who's around, you just love them unconditionally with no expectations. You don't, because expectations just bring disappointments. And just because somebody doesn't love you the way you want them to love you doesn't mean to say they don't love you with everything that they are in terms of the space that they're in. And this card is saying to me that you understand all of that, and you also understand that he or she is on their journey and you're moving forward with your journey, very much so, but you're holding the space for them if that's what you want to do. So this is all, remember, it comes down to your choices as well, but you're letting them navigate their life's path at their pace. And at the moment they're prodding their feelings, but they are very much in their emotions, which is lovely to see. Advice from Spirit, you've got the Lover's card, which is beautiful. You know, as being Gemini as well, it's fantastic to see this card. You are, okay, so this is about choices, options, but it's also about your self-love here. Now, do you see, she is just, she's just there. She's just hanging out. She knows what she wants. She knows what she deserves. And she knows she wants somebody who is on the same high energy vibration as her, somebody that will treat her with the respect and love that she deserves. So this is what Spirit's saying to you, that this This has been a journey for you about your self-love and self-worth. And there's no rush with these journeys either. They all happen in divine timing. You know, I'm getting told about the tortoise and the hare. You know, the tortoise wins the race. It's slow and steady, and sometimes things will come in, but they'll come in at the right timing. It may be when you're not expecting it. This could be about you and your soulmate, and you know that you are very much connected. You are these sort of, you know, soulmates who come in to help shift and change one another, to trigger one another, to evolve your soul. But between you there's an extraordinary connection, and it's been protected by the angels. It's very much divinely guided and divinely protected. And it's a very beautiful card, and you have there the sort of apples, like the, you know, this is the tree of knowledge as well. You have really grown. I mean, look how beautiful that is. You have really grown and evolved throughout this journey, and I do see you at a place of peace. But Spirit's advice is to keep focusing on your self-love and self-worth, because the more you do that, the more love, unconditional love, you have to give another. Because again, I come back to, you can't love from an empty cup, or you can't love from a bucket with a hole in it. If you don't love yourself, then you're asking somebody else to love what you don't love. And this is, again, Spirit saying well done, because this relationship has enabled you to shift and change and transform. And I believe you're at the place now where you're starting to understand that and be very grateful for what has happened. So you're saying thank you for this happening to me, because it is, when you're in it, you know, when you're in this at the moment, but you've come out of that and you're now stepping forward, you're starting to realize that this has all happened for you, to help you, not to you, to make you just miserable. And your outcome card is the Seven of Wands. So that for me is lovely to see here, because the Seven of Wands here for me is that determination card. Again, I go back to here, you've got your wand, you know what you want, you're determined, you know, you have your self-worth and your self-love. You're also higher up. Do you see them, these other ones? So you have raised your vibrations, you're higher in terms of what you're giving out, and so you don't expect anything less back. And because you are in a higher vibration, you're attracting to you the like. And the advice from Spirit here as well is, stay away from negative emotions and negative energies and people wanting to impart their thoughts on this situation. Stay away from those hamster wheel sort of thoughts that may invade your mind space occasionally, and doubt. You don't need to doubt. You have trust and faith. You know you're being divinely guided and divinely led, and you know that this is going to take you. You don't know where it's going to take you, but you know it's going to take you somewhere for your greatest good. So whatever you want from this situation, from this relationship, from this soulmate, this is what's coming in for you. You are going to be very determined, and you are going to know. And there's nothing more powerful than a knowing. A knowing is not a hope, it's not a belief, it's a knowing. And you have a knowing about this. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if it did resonate, as again, I'd love you to see any comments in the comments box below, and sorry, and take care, my darling, and get out of your headspace if you are in your headspace at all. But well done, says Spirit. There's been an extraordinary transformation for you, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the next cup of tea tarot. And lots of love, and take care.